Ah, nice. Let's get to this one. California Proposition 19, property tax, transfers, exemptions, and revenue for wildfire agencies and counties amendment. I think the wildfire agencies was kind of just added there at the end because the way this proposition is reading has very little to do with wildfire and more to do with property tax transfers and exemptions. Very little to do with wildfire. But let's get on with this. So this might take a while. A yes vote supports this constitutional amendment to allow eligible homeowners to transfer their tax assessment anywhere within the state and allow tax assessments to be transferred to a more expensive home with an upward adjustment. What? Transfer tax assessment anywhere within the state and allow tax assessments to be transferred to a more expensive home with an upward adjustment. I think they're talking about property tax and how much they pay on property tax if you're moving homes. So increase the number of times that person over 55 years old or with severe disabilities can transfer the tax assessments from 1 to 3. So right now you can do this move where you can move from one house, from the tax assessments, from one property to another, and you transfer the property tax assessments. That terminology is kind of weird with me, but you're basically able to transfer what you pay in one place to another place. It's a weird fucking thing to me anyways, but I guess you could do it 3 times now. So it requires that inherited homes that are not used as principal residences, such as second homes or rentals, be reassessed at market value when transferred. And so allocate additional revenue or net savings resulted from the ballot measure to wildfire agencies and counties. Is that the only thing when it comes to wildfire? Okay. Wildfire agencies and counties. Okay, so wildfire is a good thing, but in counties, such an open-ended statement, kind of weird. But let's go up here to the required inherited homes. Require that inherited homes that are not used as principal resources. So if you're not living in it, then it's not a principal residences. If you have a second home or you're renting it out, you're gonna have to do a whole new reevaluation of property taxes because essentially that transfer in value also, I guess the property tax will start picking up as if you sold the house. Like we were talking about before, when you sell a house, they take the property taxes from the sold value. Now they're gonna, when it's transferred, that market value is gonna become the new property tax number. So the new taxable income is gonna be that market value when you transfer it. That's dangerous because a lot of people get homes, but then are gonna be liable for thousands and thousands of more dollars for property taxes. Kind of sketchy. It's kind of sketchy. Again, it's trying to change property tax laws. So no vote, allow eligible homeowners to transfer tax assessment within counties into homes of equal or lesser market value. Continuing to, okay. Keep the number of times that a person's over 55 years old with severe disabilities can transfer the tax assessments at 1. So you can do this once. Allow tax assessment on inherited homes, including those not used as principal residence, to be transferred from parent to child or grandparent to grandchild. Yeah, so continue what we're doing right now. So you either enact all this or continue what we're doing right now. How would the ballot measure change the rules government tax assessment transfers? We got to read it. So the ballot measure would change the rules for tax assessment transfers. In California, eligible homeowners can transfer the tax assessments to a different home of the same or lesser market value, which allows them to move without paying higher taxes. There you go. Interesting. Okay. Homeowners who are eligible for tax assessments and tax assessment transfers are persons over 55 years old, persons with severe disabilities, and victims of natural disasters and hazardous waste contamination. Cool. The ballot measure would allow eligible homeowners to transfer their tax assessments anywhere within the state and allow tax assessments to transfer to a more expensive home with an upward adjustment. The number of times that a tax assessment can be transferred would increase from 1 to 3 persons, 3 for persons over 55 years old or with severe disabilities. Disaster and contamination victims would continue to be allowed 1 transfer. So it doesn't even change the disaster and contamination victims. So even the fire people only get saved once. If your house got burned down, you only get this move once. Okay, this is weird. So it's just for older people, 55 years or older, or severe disabilities. You can go from 1 to 3. You can do this adjustment thing. So how would the ballot measure affect inherited property? So in California, parents or grandparents can transfer primary residential properties to their grandchildren or grandchildren without the property's tax assessment resetting to the market value. So when you transfer the property, it does not reset to market value. It's not counted as you sold it or something like that. It goes in line with what you were paying before. So property tax assessment basically continues at an inflation rate or less than 2% per year. Other types of properties, such as vacation homes and business properties, can also be transferred from parent to child or grandparent to grandchild, with the first $1 million exempt from reassessment when transferred. So again, if you're transferring multiple houses, it's only going to count up to $1 million, and then everything else is going to be reassessed. I don't see there's something wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with that. Why are we changing this? So the ballot measure will eliminate the parent to child, grandparent to grandchild exemption in cases where the child or grandchild does not use inherited property as their principal residence, such as using a property as a rental house or a second home. So if your parents give you a house or leave you a house and you're not using the house as a primary residence, you're going to have to pay more property taxes only because you're not using the house as a primary residence. It just seems like a way to get more property taxes out of everybody. That's what it seems like to me. Like they're going to start taxing you as soon as you start transferring. Like I'm pretty sure estate taxes take a hefty tax as well. When the inherited property is used as the recipient's principal residence but is sold for $1 million or more, then the property's taxable value and upward adjustment in assessed value would occur. Sold for $1 million or more. A house being sold for more than $1 million in California is not rare. It's really, really common. Extremely common. Too common. There's tons of houses that are not worth $1 million that are worth $1 million. It's kind of weird, but the ballot measure would also apply these rules to certain farms. So farmers are going to start getting fucked too. So beginning on February 26, 2023, the $1 million amount will be adjusted each year at a rate equal to the change in California house price index. Hopefully they increase it, but we shall see. $1 million isn't that much in California. For properties, isn't that much. What would the ballot measure do with changes in revenue? So the ballot measure would create the California Fire Response Fund. It's good. And County Revenue Protection Fund. County Revenue Protection Fund. The fuck is that? The ballot measure would require the California Director of Finance to calculate additional revenues and net savings resulting from the ballot measures. The California State Controller would be required to deposit 75% of the calculated value to the Fire Response Fund and 50% to the County Revenue Protection Fund. I still don't know what County Revenue Protection Fund is. The County Revenue Protection Fund, would be used to reimburse counties for revenue losses related to the measure's property tax changes. The Fire Response Fund would be used to fund fire suppression staffing and full-time station-based personnel. All right. So they want to deposit 75% of the new money. Revenues, savings. Fire response fund will be used for fire suppression and staffing and full-time station-based personnel. I mean, that would be good, but let's actually get to this though. We're required to deposit 75% of the calculated revenue to the fire response fund. What happens to the other percent? 15 and 75 is 90. Where's the other 10 going? Who knows? Boom. I don't know where the other 10% is going. It's not very good. I'm all for the fire response fund. Funds fire suppression, staffing, and full-time station-based personnel. California does like to burn. I'm just wondering why they do it this way and why aren't general funds being used for general fund shit? Why are you messing with the properties and stuff like that? What's up with that? And the County Revenue Protection Fund would be used to reimburse counties for revenue losses related to the measure's property tax changes. So I guess some people are going to get taxed less. I don't see any circumstances where people get taxed less. Oh yeah, when people are moving, the upward shift kind of thing. Yeah, I still see that as a minority of the cases. That's why only 15% of the funds are going towards that. Where the other 10% going? This is weird. So ballot title, blah, blah, blah. Summary. Permits homeowners who are over 55, severely disabled, or whose homes were destroyed by wildfire or disaster to transfer their primary residence's property tax-based value to a replacement residence of any value anywhere in the state. Limits tax benefits for certain transfers of real property between family members. Limits. Severely destroys whatever we have. Expands tax benefits for transfers for family farms. I didn't see anything that expanded tax benefits, but maybe. Allocates most resulting state revenues and savings to fire protection service and reimbursing local governments for taxation related changes. All right, let's see. Local governments could gain tens of millions of dollars of property tax revenues per year. These gains could grow over time to a few $100 million per year. True. Property taxes also increases prices and everything else. So while it does increase tax revenue, it increases the price of everything else. Schools could gain tens of millions of dollars of property tax revenues per year, potentially. These gains could grow over time to a few $100 million a year. Yeah, potentially schools could get more money, but again, is giving schools more money the real solution here? No, we need a way better way to do education. And now that this whole COVID thing is going on, education is going to be completely redesigned, in my opinion. It needs to be completely redesigned. So revenue from other taxes could increase by tens of millions of dollars per year for both the state and local governments. Most of their new state revenue would be spent on fire protection. I highly doubt that, though. I don't feel like that's going to be the case for the government to do this, because I'm pretty sure other propositions have stated this kind of idea, and it turns out that they've all been pushed into the general funds, and then you end up spending bullshit amounts of money on bullshit projects. I just don't trust the government. I just don't. Yes. If you raise property taxes, you're going to get more property taxes. This is what the fiscal impact is basically saying. Again, Democratic Party, Gavin Newsom, that motherfucker. Who else is in unions? Nurses Association, professional firefighters. Okay, you see that working. California, okay, United Food and Commercial Workers, Western State Council, Forestry, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Business Roundtable. Okay, so they got a more diverse group of people here than other propositions. I'm still voting no, but they do. Opposition is ACLU of Southern California and Howard Jervis Taxpayers Association. That's interesting. The ACLU of Southern California. Let me just jump in here. Oh, dang, look at all the ACLU stuff. We are on 19, right? So vote to prevent another tax break that benefits only the wealthy. Prop 19 creates another tax break for already wealthy property owners by allowing homeowners over age 55 living with disabilities or displaced by wildfires to carry their existing property tax rates to new homes anywhere in the state up to 3 times. Prop 19 does nothing to address California's unaffordable housing crisis and may threaten funding for schools and essential services in some counties. I don't know how that works. Voters rejected a similar proposition in 2018. Stop a tax break that would increase inequity and widen the wealth gap. I'm not really sure why they said that, but yeah, I'm sure they have the reasons. Yeah, so campaign finance. Holy smokes. Now we can see some real money being poured into this and no money being poured into the other one. $36 million, $261,507.51. That is how much money is being poured into supporting this shit. I'm sorry, this proposition. It's not shit. It's not the worst proposition we've read so far. So $45,050. That's the opposing contribution. Wow. Look at the names. Yes on 19. That's an interesting name. Tax savings and housing relief for seniors, severely disabled, and wildfire victims. Well, I'm all for that tax saving part. It opens the door for a lot of shit the government can get in. Like, yeah, it just opens the door to more taxes and more of these things. I'm all for the tax savings and stuff, but you literally are going to start taxing people more. Prices are going to go up. Anytime property taxes increase, prices go up. If there isn't a case where property taxes increase and prices go down, please show me this case, because that'll be a very interesting case, and I would love to know more about it. So yeah, support $45 million or some bullshit. California Association of Realtors issues mobilization. National Association of Realtors, California Professional Firefighters ballot issues, Operating Engineers Local Union number 3. Interesting. They believe in it. The realtors getting into this is interesting. I wonder if they get money based on the transfers. I really don't know why the realtors are donating for. Interesting. Support. Okay. All right. Forget the proposition. Background. Let's see what we got down. Inter-county transfers. Let's see what we got down. All right. Well, at least there was a different kind of vote this time. So Democrats 27, no, yes votes 29, Democrat 27, Republican 2. Votes, no votes 5. Okay, all 5 Republican. Yes votes in the state assembly, 46 yes for Democrats, 9 yes Republican. All right, so Republicans actually are in favor of this, at least in the state assembly. Interesting. Well, I'm still personally going to vote no. You guys can vote however you guys want. I obviously don't have I'm not looking to get property tax transfers anytime soon or exemptions anytime soon. So yeah, that's not really an issue I really feel strongly about. I just see this as a way for more taxes. And again, from the beginning, I was not into taxes at all. Anything with new taxes, probably voting no on. Let's keep going. California's already expensive enough. Let's keep going.